Hello, welcome back. This is the nutrition guidance and carb load strategy for the 5K formula. So pretty much, we're just going to go through it. You're obviously going to read it yourself, but this is a sort of a brief overview of why this process and this technique is used. Obviously, the most important thing when it comes to training and trying to improve in any discipline, not just running, is your nutrition. Whether you've wanted to lose fat in the past and you have done all the cardio as much as possible, you're still not seeing results, the next thing you do is sort your nutrition out and then all the results come to you. It's no different when it comes to running, especially when you're putting yourself under so much strain that a specific running program does have. Obviously, the sessions we're doing are going to be challenging, they are going to be difficult, and it's important that we can factor in when we're training and how we eat around our sessions. This is an exact framework that I used before high rocks, before 10K, and not necessarily before half marathon. Before half marathon, it is preferable that you probably go up to 6 to 7 kgs, 6 to 7 grams per kilogram of body weight. But for a 5 or 10K, this is absolutely perfect. Okay, I've taken this from Liam Holmes, who is the head nutritionist at March On. Which is exactly the same process that I would use as well, and exactly the same process that all of my clients use. This is all stuff you can find on the internet, but to be able to have it put into this sort of formula for you is so ideal. Obviously, the belief in the fitness community is that you carb load a night before a race. Now, what happens if you carb load a night before a race? You might be sick everywhere. Let's be really honest with you. If you're going to try and chuck down 10 grams per kilo of body weight of carbohydrate as a 78-kilo person, and you're chucking 780 grams of carbs in your system, that's probably going to hurt. But making sure that it's not a dump, it requires a bit of structure, and you can really program it how you want, but you have to factor in when you're training. So you will be on the guidance I'm giving you is more to be in a carb load consistently, okay? Because when you start to train with intensity, which this program will teach you to do, making sure you're fueled for those sessions is the most important thing. When I started training for high rocks more than anything, the biggest thing I found was that I probably wasn't eating enough. I was still eating 4 meals a day. I was on probably around 500 to 600 grams of carbs, and I still felt that that wasn't enough. I'm not saying everybody has to be the same. Everybody has a different body weight. Your gender makes a bit of a difference as well. But it is crucial that you maximize your nutrition as much as possible to really extract the biggest amount of performance. The structure that I'm going to give you is pretty much followed by this. This is what you should be eating in the whole 6 weeks, pretty much. The carb load doesn't necessarily change the closer you get to the event. What you're fueling yourself with might change, but the actual grams per kilogram of body weight shouldn't really change. Obviously, with carbohydrates, you're topping up your glycogen stores. It's the main energy source that's used for running. It's like going on a 400-mile drive and only filling up your car with 50 miles of petrol is what happens when you start under eating. So it's quite a handy tool here from, again, Liam put this together as well, looking at your body weight, and then this would be the ideal amount of carbohydrates, 5 grams per kilogram. Protein as well. Protein is something that is obviously super important for the growth and repair of your muscles, especially after you especially as you are putting yourself under strain and you're breaking everything down, your protein as well is so important. 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight of protein is also very effective. It's not, the science behind it is anywhere between 1.5 to 2.2. But the sample plan that I've used is a 70 kg 6-foot male, eating 5 grams per kilogram body weight of carbs, 2.2 kilograms per body weight of protein. When it comes to the calories probably look around 2,700 to 3,000. But this is a sample nutrition plan for someone who trains at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., so middle of the day, or someone who trains in the evening. The important thing about training early, especially if you're doing running, is you should never train fasted. Okay, now what I mean by that is going into the session without having anything And that could literally be, you might drink half a glass of water, go out for your session. What is your body fueling on? Especially if you're not eating late into the day the night before, it's always best to go and eat something beforehand. So what I've gone for here is 75 grams of medjool dates, 1 7-inch banana. That's 79 grams of carbs, which is plenty enough for you to go out before a session, and it's easily digestible. Both have slight elements of fiber in them, which does slow it down, but it's not going to come straight back up. Obviously, other options of that could be bagels, anything like that. Any easy digestible carb before a session is perfect. During the session, this is for every single nutrition plan, 1 30-gram carb gel. Now, if sessions are longer than 60 minutes, then a gel is really, really important. The science behind that is obviously if any sort of aerobic activity is longer than 90 minutes, your carbohydrate stores are depleted, obviously intensity depending, but for our program, that's probably every session pretty much. And then you're going to take your morning meal before you go to work, 8 a.m. 3 eggs, 2 slices of sourdough, 10 grams of butter, 50 grams of medjool dates. That's a good 40 grams of protein, 112 grams of carbs. Middle meal, chicken breast, new potatoes, broccoli, again, and then feeding in the evening. And then you also have the option snack, which is at 8 p.m. You can't have that too close to bed. Obviously, if you're someone training at 6 a.m., you're probably going to be going to bed at about 9 p.m., 9:30. You do not want to be eating at around 8:30, 8:45, 9 p.m. just because of how much impact that can have on your digestive system, obviously acid reflux as well. You want to be able to put yourself in the best conditions to be able to go and sleep. Evening meal is no later than 6, preferably no later than probably 6:30 at the latest. We're trying to spread our meals out as efficiently as possible during the day. Someone training at midday, obviously, again, you want your pre-workout snack 90 to 60 minutes before your session. So you're going to eat at 8, so you're going to have your pre-workout at 10:30, and then you're going to have your 30-gram carb gel in the middle of the session, and then your middle meal, 2 p.m., evening meal, 7 p.m., and then an optional snack at 8:30 p.m. Obviously, you're probably going to be waking up slightly later than the person training at 6 a.m., so you can afford to eat a little bit later. Someone training in the evening, again, pre-workout snack, 90 to 60 minutes before your session. We're going to move the optional snack to the morning to bridge the gap between your morning meal and your middle meal, because that can be quite a long time. People start to get hungry around that 10 a.m., 11 a.m. mark. You have your pre-workout at 5 p.m., then you have your evening meal at 8:30. Let that sit, let that digest, and then you can go to bed. Okay, so that is your explanation behind the carb load. Seriously important that we are dialing into this part most specifically. But just like everything else, it always has a purpose behind it. So making sure we're using this as best as possible and seeing the results come into fruition.